Hi, my name is Brandon Slade. Today we're in our homework center to talk to two of the top professionals in Boulder County and pick their brains about how they work with students with ADHD, anxiety, and the interventions that we can use to help.
My name is Teri Carlson, MD. I am a child and adolescent psychiatrist at Boulder Creek Psychiatry.
My name is Nick Thompson, and I'm a psychotherapist in private practice in Boulder, Colorado. I work mainly with middle school, high school, and college-age students. I also do parent coaching and parent support.
As respected professionals in our area, what would you guys prescribe for ADHD and other executive function challenges?
So I usually explain to parents that ADHD is a neurostyle. I don't consider it a disorder per se, but there are variances in dopamine synthesis and metabolism that can create challenges for these kids in the classroom. So we generally seek to prescribe medications that restore that dopamine balance in the brain, either by working on dopamine transport mechanisms or dopamine synthesis.
Taking care of the body, physical wellness, is essential for all people. So the acronym is SCORE, and the S stands for sleep, C stands for consumption, the O is outdoors, so time outdoors, R is relationships, so time with people, good people, and E is exercise. And we start each one of our sessions by each of us going through our score, reporting on the score. How do we do this past week?
That's why kids actually move before they get to work, is because we know that increases dopamine. The movement increases learning, it increases attention and retention. So we try to build that in not only to our kids' time here, but their lifestyles as well. We're not for or against medication. We leave that up to you guys as professionals. Even if you are taking the medication, that doesn't mean you've developed the systems, the habits, and the routines that need to be successful. So when you pair the two, if you decide to do that, that's when we see kids really take off.
I like that you mentioned routines, because so often I do think people assume that there's a quick fix and they're hoping the medication will be a quick fix. Mentoring and assisting with executive functioning to be very much like physical therapy for the body. It is retraining the brain how to organize, how to really make use of its own processing speed and working memory in a more efficient way.
And what we see with kids who struggle with executive function challenges, it's not only those routines, but it's accountability on those routines, which is what our mentors really try to do. As an adult with ADHD myself, just because I know I have to exercise, well, sometimes I still need that accountability.
Young people need to have strong bonds with family, strong relationships with their peers, school staff, having a teacher that they can go to, that they trust. And the final one that our society, our culture really avoids, mentors.
Absolutely.
It's such a missing piece. And when I look at those things, if we don't have all those connected, well, then we got to work in each area.
When you talk about the types of relationships, it's a very different type of relationship with a mentor than it is with a parent or a peer group. The purpose of our mentorships is, we always say 2 pats on the back, 1 kick in the tail, right? So we can foster that growth, we can move them along while creating that relationship. And that's a very different relationship than it is with your family or with your peer group or with friends or athletic team or something like that.
A lot of parents do tell me, I think I'm just going to try to teach them the organizational skills that I use, and I'll say, hold up, you don't have ADHD, so the organizational skills that you've learned that work for you and that might work for me will not work for your middle schooler or high schooler.
And so you do such a good job with young people to normalize the need for mentorship, to normalize how much the support helps, and to kind of make it appealing.
Thank you so much for saying that. And it is a huge mind shift for a lot of young people when they figure out the most successful people have the most help. I know every single person in this room has in between 1 and 5 mentors that if something goes wrong, we call right away. So switching gears to anxiety. If a student comes in and they're experiencing a lot of anxiety, whether it be around school or something academic, I guess, where would you start with that?
Well, I usually try to assess the level of anxiety that they are experiencing and really try to make a determination, is there a separate anxiety disorder at play here with attention struggles, or is the anxiety really a product of having lived 10 or 15 or 20 years not quite being able to adapt to the Western educational system? If a person has struggled with that for 5, 10, 20 years, they are going to have anxiety. They're always going to feel like they forgot something, they misplaced something. Moving through life in that manner is going to breed anxiety. So at least half the time when I have a kid come in and the parents are worried about anxiety, but I'm hearing about school difficulties, I'm going to send them for some testing to get tested for ADHD, and 85% of the time they come back, yes, they have ADHD, whether it's mild or moderate or severe. There are times I do not recommend medication for ADHD. If it is mild, I would recommend multivitamin, omega-3 fatty acids, etc. But any level of attention struggle, organization struggle is going to cause anxiety in the school system, because the school system is putting too much demand on what that child or teen is currently capable of.
Organizing, planning, focus, sustaining effort, working memory, regulating mood, regulating behavior. These things are all greatly improved, possible by creating habits, by creating routines. We talk way too much about motivation. I'm just not motivated anymore. When I hear that, of course you're not. Motivation is an emotion. It's fleeting, it comes and goes. And unfortunately, so many of our youth think the people who are achieving in schools and outside of schools, well, they're just super motivated. No, they're not. They have better routines than you do. And you can create routines just like they did to be successful. So on the term of anxiety, without these systems in place, without these executive functions developed, without developing those habits, you're going to procrastinate.
I view it as, since we don't fit into the typical education system, what a great gift. If we're able to do the work and we're able to navigate through that system, a system that we don't fit, I know I can navigate through almost any system now. But it comes with doing the work, implementing habits, routines, and working to your strengths. Guys, thank you so much for coming in today and sharing your perspectives on ADHD, anxiety, and executive function challenges. We value you guys' opinions as top mental health professionals in the community so much, and we're so unbelievably grateful to have you working with us.
Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.